Welcome to this gold standard demonstration video. This video is intended to give an overview of the Rice Sustainability Hub hosted by Gold Standard. This new resource hub has been developed in partnership with the International Rice Research Institute and the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade through the Business Partnerships platform. The Rice Sustainability Hub provides resources and tools for project developers and other stakeholders to support sustainable rice projects developed under Gold Standard's methodology titled Methane Emission Reduction by Adjusted Water Management Practice in Rice Cultivation. This methodology was first released by Gold Standard in July 2023 and is adapted from the CDM methodology AMS 3AU. A link to the recording of a webinar which introduces key features of this methodology and answers technical questions can be accessed on the Hub. While the focus of the Hub is on promoting project activities in Vietnam, the majority of the resources and tools are also relevant for sustainable rice projects located in other countries. The Hub is divided into two main sections: resources for project developers and resources for validation and verification bodies, both of which are directly related to Gold Standard's rice methodology. A final section contains further information and additional resources which may be useful for project developers and other stakeholders. The user can navigate between the different parts of the Hub via the content section at the top of the web page. We will start by looking at the resources for project developers. This section is divided into two parts. In the first section, titled Resources for Project Developers, the user can find several documents and links with background information and context. 3 background documents can be downloaded from here. The methodology summary gives a concise overview of the key features of the rice methodology, including the eligibility, coverage, and accounting requirements. The step-by-step guide to certifying projects under the Gold Standard clearly lists all of the steps in the certification process. Please note that this guide is primarily aimed at project developers who are new to using Gold Standard for the global goals. The guide for applying the digital SDG impact tool introduces the tool itself and gives a list of SDG indicators that may be relevant for sustainable rice projects. Please note that these documents are available in both English and Vietnamese. Additionally, the user can access an up-to-date collection of frequently asked questions, as well as download a list of VVBs accredited to validate and verify projects under Gold Standard. In the second part, titled Standard Documents, the user will find a list of all Gold Standard technical documents which a project developer would need to develop a sustainable rice project under Gold Standard for the global goals. These include the core documents of the standards such as stakeholder consultation and engagement requirements. It also includes relevant activity requirements and the rice methodology itself. To support developers in completing the project design document, the Template and Tools section includes a pre-filled design document and a tool to calculate project impact. The pre-filled project design document provides guidance on filling in the relevant sections of the PDD template for rice projects. This document can be downloaded as an editable Word file. Please note that the content of the pre-filled PDD are provided solely for illustrative purposes. When developing a rice project, project developers will need to include project-specific information and amend the text as required. All PDDs would need to undergo a full validation without prejudice to the illustrative content provided in the pre-filled PDD. The downloadable Excel-based emission reduction calculation tool allows project developers to efficiently calculate the expected emission reductions from the project activity. Once the Excel file is downloaded, users can input relevant data parameters into the highlighted yellow cells. The user can choose from 3 different options to calculate the emission reductions, depending on the scale of the project and whether it is eligible to apply a simplified approach. In the final tab, the user can access a month-by-month calculation of estimated emission reductions over the project's crediting period. These ex-ante emissions can be used by the project developer in the project design document. We will now look at the resources for validation and verification bodies. The main resource is a checklist to assist VVBs in validating sustainable rice projects. It contains a series of yes or no questions for VVBs to validate whether the project activity complies with the requirements of the rice methodology. The checklist can be downloaded as an editable Word document. The completed checklist should be included as an annex to the validation report for a rice project. Note that a training webinar specifically aimed at VVBs, in which the rice methodology together with the resources hosted on this platform will be explained, will take place on the 2nd of May 2024. A recording of this webinar will be posted here when available. In the final section of the Rice Sustainability Hub, the user will find further resources that may be useful for project developers and other stakeholders. The first part gives information on selling carbon credits from sustainable rice projects, with links to several online marketplaces that project developers can utilize to gain financial support for their project activities. Gold Standard's partner for the Hub development, the International Rice Research Institute, also known as IRRI, provide a wide range of general and Vietnam-specific resources for sustainable rice cultivation practices. The Hub here hosts two useful documents compiled by IRRI. The first lists links to access resources developed by IRRI which are relevant for sustainable rice projects. These include, for instance, a tool to conduct cost-benefit analysis of emission reduction activities and guidelines for measuring emissions from rice paddy fields in Vietnam. All of these resources are freely available on IRRI's website. The second document lists stakeholders relevant for rice projects in Vietnam, with a short description of their organisation and involvement. Additional knowledge projects developed by IRRI can be accessed via the link on the Hub. Following the launch of the Rice Sustainability Hub, Gold Standard and IRRI will undertake a period of user testing. We expect the Hub to continue to evolve over the course of 2024 in response to this testing, with new resources added to support stakeholders. Gold Standard welcomes feedback on the Hub and the documents hosted on it. At the top of the web page, the user will find a link to an online feedback form through which they can submit comments and suggestions. Alternatively, they can get in touch via email at help@goldstandard.org. We look forward to receiving your feedback and further developing the Rice Sustainability Hub in the coming months. Thank you for watching this video.